Sixers win. Sixers win. What is going on? Welcome to Sixers Postgame Live. 106-103. The Sixers finally beat Boston. Moved to 6-1 on the season. Maxey did it, man. We're going to break it all down. Top takeaways, reaction. Joining us, as always, Sean Bernard at Sean_Bernard1. What's up, Sean?
Yeah, they gave us a little bit of scare there at the end, but what a statement win from this team as a whole. This team just has a fight in it that I'm so excited to see from them. There's plenty to nitpick if I want to get into it, but I'm going to ride the good vibes and feel good about this one. Always good beating the Celtics. The Sixers have sole possession of first place in the East.
Oh, man, I can't stop smiling. Also joining us, Mitch Kofsky at Mitch Kofsky on Twitter. What's up, Mitch?
Yo, what's good? Thank God. I was feeling a little Doc Rivers vibes there. I mean, can we just get a closeout? Because Embiid fade away something. Give me something. We got that. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was nuts, man. That collapse at the end of the fourth quarter, man. Whew. Also joining us for the first time, my man Romp. What's going on, dude?
What's up, bro? What a game. What a game. I love the fight of this new Sixers team. The ending was a little bit sad, but it was a fun game overall. I'm glad to be here too.
Yeah, thanks for joining, man. We have a fan in the house, Marge, say, Rob. AJ Analysis says that game was too close, but we win it. Oh my God, I can't believe they beat Boston. You know, we gotta start off with Tyrese Maxey in this one because he finished with 25 points. 11 of 27 from the field, 9 boards, 5 assists, 1 steal, 2 block. Really was outstanding in the second half and hit some amazing buckets. Going into against a Boston team where he averaged just 8 points a game in like 10 career games against the Celtics. They have had his number, and not against this new look Sixers team with athleticism and length and depth. And I'll throw it to you, Sean. What was your take on Maxey's performance here against the Celtics?
He's just growing up, man. Like right in front of our eyes, he gets better. I feel like every time he steps on the court. And it was cool a night like tonight to kind of watch him play through the struggles. The Celtics have been a team that traditionally give him trouble. They were giving him trouble today with the way that they defended him. And he just fought through it and still found ways to impact this game, whether it be knocking down some deep three-pointers, whether it be getting a one-on-one with Kristaps Porzingis, just blowing by him, getting through the floater. The playmaking I thought was better than the 5 assists indicate. And defensively, he particularly stood out to me tonight that he is no longer this below average, can be picked on defender. He competes on that side of the floor. He has a better nose for getting to the basketball. He moves his feet. He's got active hands. He's at least a league average defender at this point, and that's all I want to see from Tyrese Maxey. I thought tonight was especially a day where he showed that, competing with guys like Jaylen Brown, with some of these Celtics guards. So shout out to Tyrese Maxey for continuing to get better, and he really is just growing up right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, here's his shot chart. Really struggled shooting from the perimeter in this one. Did really well attacking the basket, getting into the paint. The floater was nice tonight. What are your thoughts on Tyrese Maxey in general, Rob? Because we haven't really gotten your thoughts yet, but especially tonight against the Celtics.
I think my one nitpick with Maxey this season is, and I think you saw it in the fourth quarter, which led the comeback for the Celtics, is he just gets unaggressive at times, and this team is so much better when Maxey is relentlessly attacking. And that's what opens up his playmaking ability when he's getting downhill and doing all those things. I just thought he got I think he thought the game was won already, and he started to just give Joel Embiid the ball. And I think when the Sixers get in that same situation, they just got to run their offense the same way. They don't have to force feed Joel. If you're going to force feed anything, force feed the 2-man game with Tyrese Maxey and Embiid. That was my one nitpick on Maxey's performance tonight. And Nick Nurse has mentioned this multiple times in press conferences where it seems like Maxey kind of gets into this point guard funk. Yeah. He's too, like, Maxey does not have to be a prototypical point guard. The Sixers operate at their best when Maxey is just relentlessly looking for a shot. And naturally, when he's looking for a shot, that's when he starts to get those open looks for others. So that's my one thing with Maxey right now. because he's going through these like lulls. It happens in the first quarter, and it usually happens in the third quarter where he's just not looking to attack. He's just looking to get others involved. And then the Sixers offense just kind of stalls because Maxey is a huge part of our offense. But overall, I mean, he's a killer. He's an all-star player already. I just have high expectations for him. Like, I'm not trying to knock him too much, but I love the kid.
Yeah, again, struggle with the shot, but what we love to see is him get the boards, get the assists, him continually, not turn over the ball. He only had one turnover again tonight. So he's impacting the game in other ways. He had a nice block there. I think it was Derek White. Just great defense. Mitch, what do you think about Maxey?
He's really becoming that second second option. It's exactly what we needed for him to step up, and especially in a game like this when the stakes are high, coming off of a good win. Maxey's just doing his thing. He did not shoot as well, but that's besides the point. He just got to the rim. He got it done, and that's basically all you could ask for. It's just get it done. And I wish he playmates a little more. How many assists did he have? Like 3, 4?
5,
I think.
Oh, it was 5? I'll take that, I guess. I mean, didn't Morey say that he wants him to shoot the ball more and something like that? But I'm like, it is what it is. I'll take the 5.
All right, let's roll on to Joel Embiid in this one. Joel Embiid finished with 27 points, 10 of 20 from the floor, 10 boards, 4 assists, 4 blocks. He did have 6 turnovers, but that turnaround jumper when the Sixers were up 4, they needed to get a bucket. They had to stop the bleeding. Joel Embiid did it with like 30 seconds remaining, man. Sean, thoughts on Joel Embiid?
Yeah, that bucket was huge, and he let everyone know all about it, which I love as well. That was a moment they needed to go for him, and he did deliver. I didn't think it was an excellent Joel game tonight. The rebounding, he had 3 rebounds at halftime, which I that can't be a half where he has 3 or less rebounds ever, and he has been much more committed on the boards for the most part this year. Didn't really translate tonight. He did ultimately end up with 10, and the last one being that missed by Porzingis. So he did come up with some big moments. I thought the turnovers were a little bit sloppy at times.
Yeah.
It felt a little disconnected. And my greatest point of concern was that Drew Holiday had actually like a pretty high impact on guarding him tonight. That frightens me a little bit. But for the most part, I am still nitpicking here. He did come through when it mattered most. Defensively, he was awesome. The 4 blocks were terrific, and they were all like statement blocks too, meeting Jaylen Brown at the rim, chasing down a guy. So I was very happy with how he's been defensively. He really is the anchor for this team, and it only works, this whole Nick Nurse system. These guys swarming defensively, switching, trapping. It only works because Joel Embiid is the anchor behind things, that safety net, that rim protector. He's more than delivering in that area. Couple growing pains we saw tonight that I'm sure they will improve on, but he came through and it mattered most.
That block he had on Tatum was sick.
Yeah.
That was just a statement block in a big game. I know it's just early November here, but this was a meaningful game for Sixers fans that want to believe again. They want to, especially for the non-believers. I think Sixers fans who are not really in on this team yet, they're going to look at the box score and be like, oh shit, this team's fun. This team's fun again. I do need to kind of check out what's happening with this new look Nick Nurse Sixers basketball squad. Mitch, thoughts on Joel Embiid's performance?
Embiid was just doing Embiid type of things, hitting that fadeaway, which was very huge. And, just getting to the line, which was kind of huge as well. 6 for 6, getting those points where we need them the most, 4 blocks. And just maybe a little less on the turnovers. I would like. He had 6. I mean, when you're getting double teamed, you're obviously going to pass the ball away, but should work on that a little more. And that's just about it. 10 boards, I'll take. A little more would be better, though.
Rob?
Joel Embiid, I thought he had a pretty decent game. I think he could have been better. I would like to request that against the Celtics, a little less dribbling from Joel Embiid. And a little less post-ups from the 3-point line. But overall, I mean, Joel Embiid, he's going to do his thing. He does have his flaws. I think he thinks he's too much of a shooting guard. And I think this team would just take a whole nother step up if he just focused on, less dribbling. And if he doesn't have good positioning, just give it back to a guard, dribble handoff, and then get in better position and then shoot a jumper or whatever. I think he tries to do too much sometimes. And that's when he starts to turn the ball over. And there was an instance with like 7 seconds on the shot clock. He had the ball and he like kind of dribbled to the corner and threw up like a terrible shot. And Maxey was standing at half court, like just do a dribble handoff. Like 7 seconds on the shot clock. It's going to be a better shot than what it turned into. Just little things like that, I think, just kind of hold him back from being an even better player. I mean, he's top 3 in the league, but he could be even better if he just fixes like a little IQ things, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. There were some really ugly offensive possessions from the Sixers today. Like there were some Tobias possessions where he was just dribbling. Things that we haven't seen since the Doc days. Some comments real quick, and then we'll get into player of the game. AJ Analysis says Doc Rivers would have lost this game. We should trade D'Anthony Melton and get a better shooting guard. Yeah, Melton, not the best Melton game. 1 of 9 from the floor.
That last turnover was brutal too. That just can't happen.
Absolutely. Let's go to some more comments real quick. Who else thinks Tyrese Maxey's defense improved a lot? Any comments on that?
Yes.
100%.
I mean, he had a good defensive possession against Drew Holiday the one time. I mean, that block, I think it was against Drew Holiday. It was against someone.
It was Derek White.
But he just hustles. He just hustles. He competes, and that was always there even last year. I think he's getting smarter in terms of rotations, and I think Nick Nurse obviously helps him in that regard. He's gotten stronger. He doesn't, get pushed off his spot as much. He does foul quite a bit, but so does the whole Sixers team foul. So I don't know. I mean, Maxey has improved in every aspect. It's pretty crazy to witness live, especially when we had Ben Simmons in the past.
And I've really just fallen in love with how much effort and hustle these Sixers perimeter defenders have been showing so far this season. They attack, they close out well, they rotate well. There were several possessions I thought the Sixers really did a good job contesting shots on the perimeter against the Celtics today.
And by the way, him improving defensively lessens the importance for D'Anthony Melton as well. So when we talk about the rotation stuff, that so much of this schematically was for Melton to kind of make up for Tyrese Maxey's shortcomings on the defensive end. If Maxey's able to make up for those himself, which is certainly trending towards, and I would argue that we could probably lock it in that he basically has improved that much at this point, that opens a ton of lineup flexibility, and we can start to get creative, start to experiment. And there's other guys as well. The Pat Bev, who I thought came in and made an impact today. Nick Batum's been awesome. Robert Covington. So you can start to cycle through all these guys in a way that you're not committed to Melton in the way that kind of was all last year.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Martian says, not sure why Rocco had to check out, but vibes are Mac. He's giving them some really quality defensive possessions, man. I know he's not playing a lot, but we saw it against KD. We saw it here again. Some nice deflections. He hit a 3. People are saying, when are we going to trade B-Ball Paul? I thought he looked really good today. I thought
He
Paul
looked good.
Yeah.
I'm good with B-Ball Paul right now in that role. I'm not trading B-Ball Paul.
There's no way in hell.
We've still yet to see the B-Ball Paul and Joel Embiid on the court together, unless I've missed it for a short period of time. But I do want to see that at some point for sure.
Yep, I need it. Quentin says, I don't think the 2-man game will work against the Celtics late. They will just double and triple team the ball side. Yeah, man, just a quality win, top to bottom. My man Phil from Philly Sports Network says they lose this game last year against under Doc Rivers.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Joe says, I'm sitting here watching PJ Tucker miss corner threes.
He's taking them. Yeah.
Did you see James Harden throw the ball out of bounds to the commentator?
Yeah, I did see that.
Batum didn't really light it up today, but again, like 5 points in 26 minutes. He did shoot 1 of 2 from 3. And he was a +7 from Batum. Any other takeaways before we head into player of the game, guys?
I think. Go ahead, Ron.
You can go, Sean.
I was gonna say, I think they need to start Batum. That I think he's like a great connector for this team. Like some of just like the simple passes he's making, he just has a feel for. He just has a read of the game in a way that a lot of these guys don't. And he does contribute as a rebounder. His off-ball movement's incredible. Like the way he just frees himself off and the off-ball motions and the instincts that he has for just creating a shot without having the ball. That's so valuable on any team, and especially the Sixers team, who has a guy like Joel Embiid gets doubled so consistently. So I'm very excited with what I've seen by Nick Batum, and shout out him for battling after his finger was just straight up crooked going into halftime there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Start Batum or just play him like a starter. You don't even have to start him. Just play him like a starter. I want to shout out Patrick Beverley. I think his minutes this season has just been fantastic. I mean, 15 minutes. He's like 6 foot. He's got 5 rebounds in 15 minutes. He's got 4 assists. He's a +4. I mean, this dude, Pat Beverley, every time he's in the game, it just seems like he's always on the boards. And he's the smallest player on the court.
Yeah.
And he's just everything we needed in the past couple of years. And he's not going to play a ton, but when he's out there, he'll go up against Tatum. He's not going to get pushed off his spot. He'll get a rebound. He'll box out. I mean, I love Pat Bev. He's perfect.
He guarded Tatum on that final possession, and he ball denied. He did not let the pass get to him. Ended up with a Porzingis 3, and it's like that little stuff matters. That adds up on a team, and it's infectious. When there's a guy working that hard, like that rubs off on everybody. And Pat Bev does set the tone. I'm very happy that he's just around this organization.
And that's the Nick Nurse effect, man. Like this team's attention to detail. They do a lot of the little things really well. They hustle their ass off. Their effort is just night and day different than what we have seen in Sixers teams prior, man. It's just truly been so much fun to watch. Just a breath of fresh air. Gracie agrees. Pat Bev is really working. And he's got that energy. He's got that positive energy that we saw from like a Corey Brewer, you know, that like you said, Sean, that infectious energy. It trickles down to Joel Embiid. All of it matters. It matters for Embiid to get this guy having fun on the basketball court again, because when that happens, the dude is unfucking stoppable, and that's what we need, man. That's what we're seeing from this Nick Nurse style of offense that leads. That's like number 2 in transition offense. We can go on and on about that, but let's roll on to our players of the game. All right, Sixers Celtics players of the game, guys. Let us know in the comments section who your player of the game is. Romp, how we do this? You can't pick the same player twice, so we'll lead you off. We'll let you go first since this is your first show. Who is your player of the game?
I think the first got to go to Tyrese Maxey because his floater barrage in the fourth quarter? I forget, third or fourth quarter. I mean, he just hit floater after floater. He took over the game, and they needed that scoring punch badly. And every time the Sixers had the ball, I was like, give it to Maxey. Give it to Maxey. Get out the way. Embiid, give him the rock. And then eventually won the game. So I got to give Maxey, plus defensively, as we covered a little, he was basically a plus on that end of the floor. And he's just, when he's aggressive, man, he's a game changer.
Yep. All right, Maxey to Rob. What about you, Sean?
Me next. I'll go Tobias Harris for mine. That Maxey would have been my first choice as well, but I don't think anybody is happier that James Harden is gone than Tobias Harris. Like,
right?
For all the talk about him being optimized and like under Harden, him being a corner shooter, all these things, he just looks so much more comfortable, so much more natural as a basketball player. That was a big shot he hit, that 3 that we thought was the dagger. The Celtics kind of snuck their way back in there down the stretch, but he finished with 17 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, just really good minutes that he's been providing, and it's been game in and game out now. So
Yeah.
we'll give Tobias his flowers. Tell a friend to tell a friend. He is that assassin scorer.
Tell a friend.
Tobias, man, it's just different. I never in my wildest dreams expected Tobias to look this good in a Nick Nurse system, man. He's been terrific. What about you, Mitch?
I gotta go with Joel Embiid. I
Yeah.
mean, Joel Embiid, 27 points, 10 boards. He had a clutch fadeaway when the time was needed the most. And yeah, Joel Embiid stepped up. Give me Embiid.
Embiid goes to
Except for
mid.
the post up and behind the three. But other than that.
Where do I go? Do I go Oubre here?
Batum.
Yeah.
I like that.
Batum was nice. Batum was nice.
I think you gotta go Batum
I'm
now.
between Oubre, Batum, or B-Ball Paul, who I thoroughly
What about the Anthony Melton? No?
Not today.
I'm going to go B-Ball Paul for my selection. I thought his defense was excellent in this one. B-Ball Paul had 8 points, 4 boards, a steal, was consistently contesting shots, defending well, moving well. Give me B-Ball Paul for my player of the game. Any other shout outs before we get into grades?
Yeah, just to make a quick point on Oubre is, for starters, like, this guy's way grittier than I think any of us gave him credit. Like, he looks like a complete pretty boy, but he's a roll your sleeves up. He competes. He's a slap the floor, and he was really trying against Tatum and Brown in the moments that he had those chances tonight. And I thought he fared pretty well. And also, he's probably the most effective player the Sixers have had in that dunker spot. That he's got a really kind of unique finish. Like, it's like this weird kind of push shot, kind of how he does it, but it's working. It's going in, and he's creating more from that dunker spot than we've seen from any version of PJ Tucker, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, any of these guys that have slid in there. Like, Oubre is actually finding ways to produce from that role, which has not happened with the Sixers team.
Absolutely agree.
I think the biggest takeaway for me tonight is, like, the Sixers actually have bodies to throw at Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and like, Nick Batum's not going to be the answer to stop Tatum, but his length is going to affect him. And it's not just going to be a, easy bucket. Same with Robert Covington. Same with Kelly Oubre. I feel like Kelly Oubre has probably done the best job on Tatum that I've seen any Sixer do in the past, like, consistency wise. So it's just nice that we actually have length and wings who can compete with Tatum and Brown, because I feel like in the past, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they could just stick their head down and get to the cup and score easily or get fouled consistently.
This is the shot chart for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown tonight. They got their first taste of the depth of the new look Philadelphia 76ers.
And that 100% at the rim is not including the times where Joel Embiid straight up stuffed them, because they each got one tonight.
Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Some comments real quick, and then we get into grades. The Truth wants to trade a first-round pick in Melton for OG Anunoby. Just give Melton for anything at this point. Kelly Oubre for player of the game shout out. Joel will always be player of the game. Steven says B-Ball, Paul out the mud. We're not trading him. I agree.
What do you think Doc Rivers is thinking watching these games right now?
He's not watching no.
I guarantee you, I was just about to say that. He doesn't give a shit about what's happening.
He's commentating with George Burke on ESPN.
Yeah. I can't wait till he's on the call for a Sixers game, man. That's gonna
this is where Clippers. He's got to be on the call. I'm sorry. He's got to be on the call for that.
That will be needed for sure.
Can I say something about Melton?
Yeah.
It's just so sad because I feel like defensively he's been so good defensively. It's hard to give him credit because he's been so bad offensively, but he really does do a lot of things defensively that I don't think he's gotten credit for this season because the offensive struggles. And I've been a Melton hater. Not a Melton hater, but I haven't been as high on him as others because his playoff resume before the Sixers was suspect, and you saw last year as well. But I feel like he does deserve credit for defense. I just think he's a bench player, and I don't think he should ever be handling as much as he is.
Yeah.
Really, just make open shots. That's all I ask. Like if he handles and he messes up, I can't blame him because that's not his strength. That's just playing. That's just stupid from the Sixers, in my opinion. But just make open shots, please.
Yeah, like realistically, he's like a third or fourth guard off the bench, like kind of guy. Like that's just what it is. They'll figure it out eventually. This is definitely not the Sixers roster we're going to be looking at in a couple of months. James says, "What do you think about a Maxey, Batum, Oubre, Tobias, and Embiid starting lineup?" I thought the lineup they wrote out today was kind of nice. It was Tobias, Maxey, Oubre, Reed,
Batum. Batum was in there, right?
Yeah, like that.
It was like the third quarter, right? Which pretty much won them the game. It extended. That lineup was crazy defensively. It was Pat Bev too. Pat Bev was in that lineup. Yeah. It was to end the third quarter, I believe, if you're talking about the same lineup, because I've been thinking about that lineup. That was fun to watch.
It's amazing how much Nick Batum kind of fits so well after watching PJ Tucker. Like this guy just it's so seamless.
I think he can play with anyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nice.
Sorry,
he's kind of like our he feels like our Al Horford up. Someone just commented that. Shout out Ryan Swoop. I did not mean to swoop your take, but he says he looks like Al Horford. I don't know if he meant game wise, but he brings the same things. Not Sixers Al Horford, obviously, but like Celtics Al Horford. Mm-hmm. And he had 2 clutch offensive rebounds that we never get. Never get. He had 2 clutch offensive rebounds. I love Batum.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention, but Paul Reed has 3 offensive boards that were huge in this one. It's good to see this team rebound again.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy. They're doing all the little things. Guys, thank you everyone for commenting. Next up, we're going to roll on to grades A to F, how we would grade today's performance. Let's get it. Don't you hear it? Sweetness and light for my restless mind. Please give it a way to escape this world gone astray. All right, so this is where we grade the game A to F. Mitch, how would you grade tonight's performance?
A lot of ups and downs. The fourth quarter really scared me, so for that, I got to go with like a B because the fourth quarter just scared me. I thought we were going to lose that game. I was in the Doc Rivers flashes. I had an image where Doc Rivers was yelling from the bench, so I'm like, please don't. But for me, it's just like they got to close out better in that situation. For that, I'm going to give them a B. I don't really like the ending.
What about you, Rob?
I'll give them an A minus, because they beat the Celtics and they had a double-digit lead versus Celtics. When does that ever happen for the Sixers?
And they kept it in the fourth, right? 15.
Yeah,
15,
I mean they barely kept it, but I felt good. I felt like we just took our foot off the gas. I think this is a new team, so I'll give them a pass. They haven't been in that situation before, so hopefully next time they're in that situation, Maxey keeps attacking and the whole team doesn't, let the whole shot clock drip before they decide to do something and, get out on shooters, because all the Celtics want to do is shoot threes. But overall, I got to give them an A minus. I mean, 7th game of the season, and we're beating the Celtics. Come on now.
What about you, Sean? Apparently, someone played soccer with you and smoked you in college.
Yeah, I don't know who DFJ Hoops is, but that's possible. That's funny. But I'll give it a B for today. Yeah, you feel free to drop your actual name or hit me in the DM because I'm curious now. But I'll give it a B for today. There was a little too much reckless stuff down the stretch that did give me some worrisome. But at the end of the day, they beat the Celtics. They controlled that game pretty much from start to finish, which really does not happen. Joel Embiid delivered when the moment mattered most, which is huge. So I'll give it a B overall. Couple things to tweak, but you can't be sad about this one.
All right, I'll go in the middle and give them a B+.
Weren't they down by double digits at one point too? They were down by a couple.
think
It
so,
was
yeah, I
early on.
Yeah,
And
early in the game.
it looked like it might get out of hand, and then they fought back because they always fight back.
Yeah. Quentin says first 45 minutes A, last 3 minutes F.
The lead got up to 11 for Boston.
Damn.
Okay. Yeah. Steven says we almost blew a double-digit leads last year. I have PTSD. Quentin asked, "They used to smoke with Sean and college." All right. Let's wrap it up. Plugs, final thoughts on the W in this one before we get out of control here. Romp, where can we find you, man? Final thoughts.
Sixers talk with Romp, and this team is legit. Like, they're legit. They're coached well. They got an MVP caliber player. Tyrese Maxey is an all-star caliber player. And the funny thing is, right now, they have a lot to clean up, and they're just getting started. And the thing is, like, I was listening to the Pat Bet podcast earlier today, and he was saying, like, this is no surprise because we've been working like 3.5 months before the season. So this team is probably, in terms of camaraderie and chemistry, it's probably more than it's ever been in the past. And I believe in this team. I'm not saying they're going to win the chip, but I think we have just as good of a chance as last year, considering how simple that offense was.
Yeah. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy that this is a team that's going to be fighting to the last minute in a way that I haven't felt about the identity of past Sixers teams. So I like all the scrappers they got. I like all the versatility, the guys that are all want to be here, want to compete. And this is just the most depth that we've had around the Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey duo. Tyrese Maxey's becoming an all-star right in front of our very eyes. I still think that when it's all said and done, they might be a stone's throw short as far as top-end talent, but they still got plenty of time to figure out if that's the case and the assets to make the move if that is. So I think they're sitting in a very good spot right now. And I think if you asked anybody if they were at 6-1, 7 games in, sitting at first place in the Eastern Conference, impossible to be upset about that. So I'm pretty happy with this team right now, and I'm looking forward to watching and following along and covering this team the rest of the year.
Yeah, like way more than the last 2 years. Like it's not even
100%.
Not even like Doc's. If there's anything we've learned through 6 games is that how much Doc Rivers truly held Embiid and Maxey and the entire team hostage. Like
you were all right.
It's unbelievable. Like I feel rejuvenated. Like I feel like I'm watching basketball for the first time again, which is nuts. Mitch, final thoughts, plugs.
This team is fun, man. This team is so fun to watch. I can't wait to go to a game. Hopefully, I get tickets sooner rather than later. But yeah, man, they know how to compete. Them and the Eagles competing. What are the odds, right? Finally, with good football, good basketball right now. But yeah, you can find me, Mitch Toxie, on YouTube, Hardcore Sports, Fly Like an Eagle podcast every Thursday, 7:15.
Final thoughts, man. Maxey has 22 points in all but one. At least 22 points in all but one game so far this season, man. It's truly incredible. Yep. And he only has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 turnovers. It's insane. Like Maxey's growth in this one. This was a huge statement win for Maxey and all the struggles and all the shit that he's had to deal with against the Boston Celtics. This was big because he was defended by Jaylen Brown quite a bit in this one. I can't wait to rewatch it.
And Drew Holiday.
And Drew freaking Holiday.
And Derek White.
And he held his own.
The Celtics' best player.
Yeah.
And he only shot 11 of 27. But I thought overall he held his own. He absolutely held his own in a lot of respects. So final thoughts is Maxey's the real deal, man. Guys, thank you everyone for watching. We will be back on Friday as they take on the Detroit Pistons and look to move on to 7-1. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. He is Mitch. That is Sean. He is Rob. Stay awesome, everyone.